Researchers are announcing a new tool that could potentially save time and lives in the treatment of aneurysms. This has been pioneered in Ottawa, but the hope is it can be used around the world. John Northcott is here with the details on how this tool works.
Heather, we're talking about the SAH. This is what we know as an aneurysm, but it's the subarachnoid hemorrhage. This is a situation where, and almost everyone knows someone who has had an aneurysm, and more often than not, they know someone who has died from an aneurysm. This pioneered by hospitals in Ottawa and now tested over 1,500 Canadian patients over a series of years, and now they feel they have a tool. Now, the tool is a series of diagnostic inquiries they can make in an emergency room. But first, let's look at how deadly aneurysms actually are. We're talking about 1 to 3% of all headaches may be aneurysms. That, a very small number when you consider how many headaches there are out there. Still, 50% of those, in other words, if you have an aneurysm, can prove fatal. Even if you survive, 2 out of 5 leave permanent damage. So this study, over a series of years, asking emergency room personnel to go through a series of factors when a patient comes in with a headache, to consider these factors. Is the patient more than 40 years of age? Is it due to the onset of exertion, so exercise, some kind of physical exertion, and you have a headache as a result? That could be the sign of this. Is there neck pain? Something else they want you to look at as well. A thunderclap headache. That's a new term for me this morning. A thunderclap headache. So a severe and very fast occurring headache, and as well flexion decreased. In other words, is the physical patient unable to be moved as easily as they might if they were healthy? So those are those 6 factors, because normally what they have to do to determine an aneurysm involves CT scans. We're talking time-consuming and we're talking expensive. This is an ability now, they say, for emergency room physicians to be able to look at a patient coming in complaining of a severe headache and to be able to say, aha, you have an aneurysm. Heather?
So 6 factors, as you said, and the hope is that these can be widely adopted. It sounds relatively straightforward, John. Are there any concerns at all?
There are with any diagnosis like this when you're effectively looking at the patient, asking the patient questions, and observing. It's the human factor. The patient may not be able to articulate exactly or accurately how they are feeling. And then again, it's a subjective evaluation that the physician is making. But as I say, this new study being released is optimistic in terms of the accuracy of it, and they do think that it can save lives, and they do think that it can save time as well, and time in aneurysms is very key.